There is one touch that I've done is everybody that has bought a record from me, I send them a personal handwritten note and I'll say, "Hi Amy, thank you so much for your purchase. I greatly appreciate you." And I sign it. And I put "Enjoy D Powers." And that goes in every box that I ship out. And the reviews that I've gotten, I've sold 670 pieces thus far, and I have 5-star review.
Hi everyone, it's Amy Valdivia, and this is the Just Ask Upland podcast, where we are highlighting and celebrating all things business in Upland. As we celebrate our local business owners and those chamber members, we take advantage and remind everyone that we were voted the best chamber in the Inland Valley. That's right, if you're going to be part of a chamber and you want to grow your business, Upland Chamber of Commerce is the place to be. Although I have someone who has great tenure with the chamber, he's a brand new chamber member. Why? Because Powers Records is a brand new member. Before we go there though, before we talk about this wonderful new chapter in your life, we're gonna go way back. And I want everyone to hear, who's Dave? Tell me your journey. You've got music, you've got mortgage, you've got family, friends, great food, enjoying life. I want to hear it all. Tell me.
Well, Amy, it started when I was 3 years old. No, I'm just kidding. Seriously, when I was 3, I loved music and I collected 45s. My parents allowed me to have 45 records, and I had them on this wooden square peg, and I'd stack them up. My aunts and uncles, grandparents would come in and say, "Hey Dave, play that Nat King Cole album," whatever, and I would fish through them, find it, and put it on the little phonograph player that I had. And I just have always been fascinated with music. And then come forward, I worked for Integrity Entertainment Corporation, which is Warehouse Records, and I promoted the bands and the labels. And I did
In what city is this?
This is in the San Fernando Valley. Started in Woodland Hills, went to Granada Hills, went to Van Nuys. There was a multitude of stores. And one of the dynamics that I found that I thoroughly enjoyed was doing the in-store displays. And the record labels gave you album flats. It wasn't the actual album jacket, but the picture was there, so they were more flexible. You can bend them. You can make these elaborate wall displays. Every display that I created, I won, which was phenomenal. I ended up in Billboard magazine for the album Blondie, Eat to the Beat. That was first place.
Really?
Yes. There was another contest that was a Styx, Pieces of 8 album. And first place, unbelievable. It was a GMAC van with the last 5 albums painted on the outside with a platinum gold record that was signed by all the band members. And that was first place. And I did everything possible to win that. It was a national contest. You know what place I came in?
What?
2.
Oh.
You know what second place was?
What?
A VCR player. But you know what? I had a ball doing it, and it was in, the store that I was managing, and it was great. And from there, I just met a lot of great people. I was able to go to concerts and shake their hands. Pat Benatar, first LA appearance at the Roxy, Rita Coolidge, Donna Summer. The list goes on and on, you could imagine. But I just found that I had such a good time, and it's like, okay, Dave, I got to get, going here in my career for the future. So I decided to apply at a finance company, and I was hired with Transamerica Financial in 1980.
Stop. Hold on a minute. You're managing Warehouse Records at a young age. How old were you?
18.
You already have that in your arsenal, that skill. You're a natural leader. You've got the voice. You're around the music industry, and you decide to change and pivot and go into finance?
Yes.
Why didn't you pursue music? Why didn't you pursue using your voice? That's what we all know you for.
Right. I think it's very difficult. It's very, whatever is happening right now, that is what's going to take precedence, and tomorrow it could be over. I wanted something long term, and that was, to me, that was a hobby that was fun, and I could thoroughly enjoy myself. And during that process, I will tell you that I collected a lot of vinyl records. And they're promotional records. They're records that the industry came out to hand out to the DJs, to the record promoters. You could not buy these in stores. So what was really cool, every first Saturday of the month at midnight, everybody would show up at Capitol Records in their parking lot with flashlights, people selling all this stuff. And it just culminated from there, and I just grew my library, if you will, that dates 42 years of collecting these records that sat on the shelf, still sealed, never played, never opened, in mint condition. And I decided, well, I talked to my son and daughter about any interest. They said no. I said, okay, I need to do something. So keeping them on the shelf, going back to the mortgage and finance, I just really enjoy numbers. I love money, number one. I love portfolios, stock markets, and that's my major in high school was math. And so that was also a passion, and I just kept going and going, and again, I did very well throughout the tenure of my career. And I ran 2 companies nationally and took them public. And one was United Pan Am Mortgage, the other was Plaza Home Mortgage. And it was just an incredible journey, having 18 branches to manage nationwide, getting on a plane, meeting with the manager, meeting with the team, getting them out there, doing coaching, mentoring, sales mastery. I have all that, and I think I bring a good semblance of that experience to any business. So I'm an advocate for small businesses or large, whatever, and to get out there and help them grow and give them ideas or give them another way of doing it. Anyway, 43 years in the mortgage industry, and I've just been blessed. My family and I are just, passionate about their life, our lives together, and it was time to hand the baton off to a very special friend that I have in this room right now, which is you, Amy. Amy Valdivia has taken my place at within the mortgage branch that I was at, and she's going to take it even to a higher level. So I'm really excited about that. I can't wait to see it.
Thank you. Thank you so very much for that. And I didn't anticipate we were going there.
I didn't either.
42 years. In 42 years, you've seen a lot in our industry.
Mm-hmm.
Ups and downs.
Five cycles I've gone through.
You can speak to what's going to happen. That's the number one question I see. What's going to happen? Is the sky falling? Are we going to have another meltdown? Mm-hmm. Tell me your thoughts.
I don't think so. So let's go back to 2008, where there was a meltdown. What happened was we had over 4 billion homes out on the market. Builders were going crazy, and there was all this crazy financing going on. And at the end of the day, what happened is it plummeted because of the loans that were being made out there. They were the wackadoodle loans, the 80-20s. Oh, you can breathe on a mirror? You got a loan. Come on down. So we really got ourselves into trouble, meaning the entire industry, all the way through Wall Street, the investors. What's different about this is the inventory builders are like skittish, so they didn't build. So that's keeping home prices inflated up, and they're going to continue to do that, to answer your question, until we see rates. They're not going to be wacky like they were in the 2s and the 3s, but they'll be in the 4s, mid 4s, maybe low 4s to low 5s. And that's still a very respectable rate and an opportunity for a client to get in the house.
Education,
Yes.
mentorship, that is truly your pillar that you lean on. As you're giving this information to those that are getting into the industry, very first time, never closed a loan in their life.
Yes.
What do you tell that loan officer?
I tell the loan officer, you're not going out in the field for 90 days. You are going to sit down and we're going to script. We're going to go through how can you approach a high-level broker, real estate agent, referral partner, and set yourself apart from anybody else out there. And they're going to say, what do you mean? Well, first of all, a high-producing real estate agent, what are they doing? They already have a loan officer, they already have a partner, they don't need another one. So what value are you going to bring in? And I've got all the tools and the resources to help them ask the right questions, set themselves apart.
This is exactly why I wanted to interview you, because what a new business owner, a new entrepreneur, a student going through business college classes, they need to learn what, how, when to work a business. How do I launch it? How do I get it to the next level? What is the best approach? These are the nuggets that I hope people are listening to. Natural born leadership, we know, because at 18 you were managing your own store. When you do that, you have to mentor people that work for you. Of course, you have to tell them what to do. You have to manage them. But they need guidance, and they need that person, that go-to person to lean on. And so you teach them the scripting. You teach them what to say and what to do. Tell me about your confidence and how you teach others to walk with your stature.
Well, thank you. That's a great question. I like it because one of my favorite mentors is Jack French. He was the owner of Plaza Home Mortgage. And what I liked about Jack's charisma is he could walk into a room and he would just take over. Being young and learning, I would stand back and watch that, and I was like, that's what I've got to mirror. And what that is, you walk in, you go, hi, I'm Dave Powers. As he did, hi, I'm Jack French. And one of the things, right, eye to eye. And one of the things is, help people open up their doors. So I'm not there to talk about me. I'm there to find out what they're about. What is their company about? What do they offer in the community? And then I can help them from that point forward. And then later, they'll ask me, and by the way, what do you do? So I'm all good with that, because if I'm interested in them, then they're going to be interested in the Upland community. They're going to be interested in the Upland Chamber of Commerce. And that's what I found worked really well. You know who paid a huge compliment to me was Josiah. That on his ribbon cutting, he said that's what Dave Powers did. He didn't make me feel that I was just out there on my own island. He grabbed me by the arm and he goes, this is how you do it. This is how you say hi.
Servant leadership, teaching people. That's the way you do it.
That's
and
right.
I remember, and I've said this story hundreds of times, when I first met you, I didn't see you at all. I just heard the voice.
And you know what? I've got some really friendly people here.
And I heard the walk, because that's the definitive step walking down the hallway. And I remember thinking, my gosh, whomever that is going to walk in the room. And I thought, that is what I'm watching. That's what I needed to be walking in the room, especially as a woman. You watched Jack French. When I watched Jack French come to my office, it was very different. The boss was coming. So the tone was, for me, intimidating, because he was coming to give us a message, to let us know what we were doing right or wrong. And he was very comfortable with letting us know what we were doing wrong. When I was observing you, the capacity was very different because you were a growing team leader. And I was able to see that, and I was able to hear that more than anything. How do you think that that has helped you in growing your branches over the years?
How it's helped is other companies have reached out to me to be keynote speakers in the industry, whether it's an escrow association, whether it's the California Association of Mortgage Professionals, to We Rep, West End Real Estate Professionals. All these divisions within the mortgage world has opened up those doors. And again, I think you know this, the more you do it, the more comfortable you get.
Right.
And then that blossomed into being chairman of the board of the Upland Chamber. Businesses right here in downtown Upland, Cooper Museum, they do a car show and we honor every branch of the military. Up at the Lutheran Church up on Euclid and 21st Street, Soup's On. That's where the community brings their soup, their best recipe, and then you can walk and taste, sample it and what have you. And I'm honored to say that Terry Galdo and Dory Ferranto were winners one year.
Yay! As you're reaching out and involved in all of these community events, you're networking. And that is where I want to go next. In order for you to grow in your business, you were out there representing, using this wonderful voice that you have. Tell me about networking more. Earlier, you spoke a little bit about getting to know somebody and asking them. Dive a little deeper into that. What's your secret sauce?
Well, the secret sauce is to really make people feel comfortable. When they're a new member, they're gonna show up and they're intimidated. You can't help it because why? You don't know the group. So the way to put them at ease is, again, lead them by the hand, introduce them, let them know what business that you're introducing, and then what their business is. And then pretty soon they start to get comfortable, so they'll come back to the next meeting or the next breakfast or the next lunch, and they're more confident. And that's how we help each other as businesses and in the community to grow.
I think that is the strength of our chamber.
Yeah.
We've visited other chambers and very pleasant, very nice.
Yes.
However, powerful and supportive and strong are words that come to mind talking about our chamber.
That's right.
Our chamber, like everyone else, dealt with a pandemic. And our businesses, some struggled, some didn't. Tell me what you did in your business during the pandemic, and how did you support the other businesses of our chamber during that time?
Well, first of all, being in the mortgage world, my business was incredible during the pandemic because the feds had lowered interest rates. Interest was pretty much at zero.
Right.
So you could get a 30-year fixed rate in the twos. What's going to happen? Everybody is going to refi. We had 80% refis, maybe even stronger. And we were funding our branch, we were funding $30 million a month, which was out of control. And it was stressful, but rewarding at the same time. And that's, first of all, what got me through 2021. I was in 10,000 square feet and I was the only one there because everybody was working from home. What is great about the mortgage industry, you can work from home because everybody's accountable. It's like a conveyor belt, so-and-so does this, that, all the way down the line. So there's no weak link. Now, how we supported the business during this transition, we would get on the phone, we would do Zoom calls, and we would stay connected to our business community. We did not skip a beat. even though we couldn't, unite and maybe go to restaurants and all that type of thing, but we found a way to reach out and touch someone.
You were still networking.
Yeah.
Just alternative methods.
That's right.
Okay, now, something shifts and you say, I'm pushing over 40 years now.
Yeah.
Great run during the pandemic.
Yes.
It's time. First of all, the very first time we had that conversation, I thought you were joking. What?
I know, I saw it in your face.
What was that moment like internally for you when you knew you were going to make a change?
It felt a huge relief, just that I could write the next chapter in my life, and I think that it was something I was very passionate about. And again, going back to, here's these records that have been on the shelf, library shelf, for 43 years, and they're not going to sit there, so I need to make a move. So who did I contact? Somebody through the chamber to help me create Power Records. And we went live February of 2021, and it was great. He stayed connected with me for 2 months. He sat down, he showed me all the inner workings, and I just took it from there, and it's incredible. And with the networking, going back to that, my best clients is anybody from whatever age, and do you want to get rid of your vinyl records? And those doors have opened up. Phone calls have come in, a friend of a friend. I get in the car, I go, I take a look at what they have. If I can use it, great. I'll make them an offer. I put it with my other collection, and now I have like over 3,000 some odd records, probably 4,000 records.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You were dabbling. You had this passion project.
Right.
On the side.
Part-time.
Part-time.
Yeah. Yep.
Part-time gig.
Yep.
You realized, I have this collection. I've got to do something with it.
Right.
You decide, I'm going to sell it.
Yes.
Tell me more, because there's a blueprint there, and I want the listeners to hear. You're working on your passion project on the side, doing your full-time job, running them together side by side, but this is truly a part-time gig.
Yeah.
Tell me about the blueprint of putting this together and the decision to continue running them side by side.
Well, what I found out, and I had no idea this was going to happen, is it took off. It was really successful part-time. And I said to myself, could you imagine, Dave, if you did this full-time, what could prevail? And I opened up the door to go international. Some of my best clients are in Germany, Italy, the UK, and I just sold another piece to Renee in Germany, and he's excited to receive it. It takes quite a while to get it there. It takes about 3 weeks before they receive it, and it's expensive. But, they're delighted. And so what I found is this is really cool, and I'm sure there's other, records out there that people don't want that I know what to do with. Because I was in the music industry and the record industry before going into finance, I just know records. I can look at it and know if it's going to sell. I have like a sixth sense, if you will, not sick, but sixth. And I just know that if I put it out there, it's going to sell.
For clarity, if you had to walk into a room and somebody said, Powers Records, what is Powers Records?
Powers Records is an opportunity where if you have passion in playing vinyl, or if you're doing a room conversion, you want to add a bar to your home, here is some examples right in back of us. These records right here, what they did back in the 70s, they took the picture of the album cover and they laminated it on the vinyl. So when you pull that out and you play that record, you're actually watching the album picture disc is what it's called, spinning. And they became very, very popular. So hence, you can turn a room into an unbelievable talking point. And people will ask you questions and they'll be interested in it. The other thing is some of the picture discs are very child user friendly. I have a whole collection of Disney. All the movies of Disney picture discs, you could put a nursery together with these picture disc frame if somebody's interested in a Disney thing. So the sky's the limit. It can just keep going.
Record collection with memorabilia, because I hear posters are the big thing right now.
Yeah, and I came across a gentleman who worked for Licorice Pizza for 30 years. And I've known the gentleman for quite some time, but I didn't know that side of his life. And he had a warehouse filled with records, 350 pounds of posters, on and on and on. And he was going to contact one of the local record stores down the street. And I said, time out, Powers needs to come and take a look first. I took it all.
So you actually sell records, memorabilia, posters, and you're buying and selling.
Yes, and I will continue to do that and just keep growing, because the people that have touched in my life, they have stuff that is like, wow, this is cool. I just picked it up from a referral. A woman, she's 90 years old, she didn't want the records anymore. She had a Frank Sinatra album, Come Fly With Me, had a date on there, 1958, and there's an interest in that market. And then what I just found out on Saturday is I had a retirement, birthday, 4th of July party. How many people can claim that you can celebrate all four of those at the same time? But people are coming up to me and said, Dave, do you sell merchandise? They actually said, do you sell merch? I go, huh? What does that mean? But they want to buy, ball caps with the logo, shirts, and I'm like, okay, there's another facet that I'm going to go into, and we have members with the chamber. I just talked with today because they sponsored the breakfast.
Very good.
Yeah, and so again, this is what's great about how this works. And so I'm enthusiastic and excited about where this can go, because I think it can be powerful now that I'm able to focus on it 100%. So power records, sell records, buy memorabilia, in-store displays, stand-up, all this stuff has a market that is a huge interest, even down to books. I have Beatle books, I have Rolling Stone magazine came out with a book, and I had that, and that was sold. So the list goes on and on.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And one of the first things you did was become a chamber member.
Right, immediately. Because I know the horsepower of the networking, the people of this chamber, being on the board for 8 years, I just know that any business out there, this is the place to. If you use it correctly, which is showing up, you gotta show up. If you show up and you meet more people, your business is gonna flourish. There's no doubt, and that's why I immediately signed up to be a member. Yep.
Let's go back to side by side. You're running your passion project business on the side of the mortgage industry. Two things. That's part of the blueprint, because many entrepreneurs, I often say, don't believe Facebook Live, because you're just seeing the success story. There's a whole lot of time before that, and grit, and trying to figure out how we're going to plan this and what we're going to do, and creating websites, mailing materials, et cetera, et cetera. How long? Repeat. You said you started Power Records
21 January is when the concept came together and we started putting the foundation in place. And then February 2021 is when we kicked it
And
out.
June 23 is when you walk away for the mortgage.
Right.
So there's a gap there. There's a long time that you're working both side by side.
Yes.
At what moment, earlier you alluded to it, but about how long into that 3-year journey did you say, hey, this could be the front runner on my income?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
That happened in October of 2022. And that's what's great about the company that you're with, Amy, CMG. They're very, they care about their employees. And I went to Matt, your direct report, and I said, Matt, this is my plan. I'm just not going to skip out on you. I'm going to find my replacement. And I'm very strategic where I'm just not going to throw a body on it. I want it to be the best. I want it, somebody that I know will do a great job. And that's how you came to be. And I continued with that because I wanted to help you have good producing loan officers. And you just are bringing one in that I personally worked with for 8 years. And she knocked on our door and said, hey, I'm ready to go and really launch it big. And I think I was comfortable to the fact that I put everything in place to where I knew that I could walk away and feel good about it.
And I think that is a point that I want to keep driving home to individuals. Many people, even this morning at the breakfast, asked me, hold on a minute, so you made a company change and that's not Dave, and asking questions. This journey for both of us and for Powers Records has truly been a couple years.
Yeah.
This has not been one day, oh, let's make a change.
Right.
No, it was methodical,
Yes.
There was a blueprint, and a lot of conversation.
Right. Absolutely.
And making that decision. When you're deciding to start a business, what's the number one suggestion you give to a young entrepreneur?
Talk to people who know more than you.
Beautiful.
Number one, because I don't know. I didn't know what to do. I think of these ideas, but there's people smarter than me. I don't know. Maybe there's an easier way, like I said, to research these records I get. It takes me hours to be able to put something on my website. Well, that's time suck,
Right.
So is there a better way? And I believe there is. If you go to the sites to be able to extract that information on a more automated basis, there's a programmer that can pull the different digital numbers or whatever it is. That's not my field, but there's certainly somebody out there that has an interest in doing it. Maybe they can help me. So you always talk to people that can help you drive to your ultimate goal. And I find that's so much easier than banging the head against your wall and trying to figure it out yourself. Never do that.
I just heard you say this, and I'm translating it as be open.
Yes.
Open to suggestion, open to more knowledge, because you may not know everything.
Right.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
And it's okay to ask for help.
Right. You have the main idea and the main structure of what you want, but let other people help you get there.
Just ask for the connection.
Yes.
Just ask for the information. Ask for the help. Isn't that funny that the podcast is called Just Ask?
Right.
And that phrase was coined during your term in leadership for the chamber. Tell me a little bit about how that came about and why.
Again, I look at what can we do to help our business community. And, sometimes people are offstandish when that initial coming into the room. It's like, oh, I may not know them or them, and I'm a little shy, stand back in the corner a little bit. And we talked to the board, talked to Amy, Dory, Ferranto, you know how enthusiastic she is. Ferranto Fields Insurance. So we just collaborated and just came up with it. I certainly didn't do this in a vacuum. It happened because of our board and our director of operations, Terry, and we just brainstormed and just went into it, and it was born.
That's truly the mantra, shall we say, for our chamber, is just ask. You never know what you can get if you just ask. Ask a question,
right?
Whatever.
If you don't ask, I like this phrase, if you don't ask, you do not get.
There you have it. And there was that moment where we were brainstorming and saying, what can we as a chamber offer a potential new member that's different? What sets us aside? When you're out networking and you are training a new loan officer, you talked about that earlier. What makes you different? Why should that builder or that realtor want to do business with you? And I remember when the podcast idea came up, and shower, it always happens in the shower, right? And I remember calling Terry Galdo and saying, a podcast, that's what it is. And we were excited. And then we said, oh no, but what are we going to call it? And there was that moment. And I thought about what we as a chamber do and leadership, and what I've learned from you in leadership over the years, but chamber leadership, observing you, is just ask. So there you have it, folks. That's how we came up with the name. It started in, when were you the
17, 18.
2017, 18
Yeah.
was when he was chair. That phrase was coined truly to be the mantra of the way we work in our chamber and how we want members to grow and cultivate.
And every meeting that we have, whether it's a breakfast or a lunch, what's in the middle of the table? There's a list of the registered businesses that are there for like this morning. And all you have to do is take it with you and pick up the phone. There's going to be somebody on that list that can help your business get to the next level. Call them up, set an appointment, have breakfast, have a cup of coffee. There's a local restaurant that you and I would meet at and brainstorm about what's going on in the mortgage industry. And it's so simple. It's very simple ingredients, but sometimes people can complicate it. And
Thank
it doesn't
you for
have
bringing
to be.
that up, because we have competed, although we worked together all those years ago. We truly worked at different companies for many, many years. So for all intents and purposes, we were competing against each other for multiple years. And yet we were meeting on a regular basis. There is something to be said in collaboration. It's not always competition.
No.
There is business for everyone. And sometimes the person that you're competing against could actually help your business grow, or vice versa. And when you help that other person grow, it's going to come right back around to you.
It does.
I remember saying, okay, let's compare notes and scenarios, and what's your pricing, what's mine?
Right.
Just talking about, okay, where are we in the market? And people found that quite odd that we did that. And I just...
But look where we're at today.
Right, back together.
Yeah.
And we're just...
1994 is when we met. And then here we are, we were working together in 2023. Never burn a bridge with anyone. And if there's people you can't work with, just politely walk away. That's okay.
It's totally fine.
Yeah, because I have found with my tenure, people that I reported to, they ultimately reported to me. So always put the best foot, put the smile on, make it happen. At the end, it's what's going to make you successful.
And have fun and offer some great food
Yeah.
and fun meals with friends and family.
Absolutely. That's my hobby. I mean, I love good wine. I've got a couple that have introduced us. We go up to Napa wine tasting and eat just exquisite restaurants. And I've just learned a lot over the years. And that's my passion, is on top of records, is I love to have good food, I love good wine, and more importantly, great company.
That's awesome. And you throw great parties,
Thank you.
inviting everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone's welcome.
Yep.
Well, tell me, now that you've moved into this wonderful chapter of your life where you get to do exactly what you really want, what's next? Where are you taking this?
You know what? I don't know. I need to really get my arms around what I have today, but I know it's going to grow into something bigger. We have a connection to the radio, which I would like to go on and talk about the bands back in the day and what they've gone through. I know a lot of history within the music industry, and I think it's something to put out there that people would be interested in. So that could segue. I have another business that I am going to create. It's an offshoot of this. There is something I've collected for many, many years. I don't know why, but I guess it's in my DNA. But I have action figures, like comic store action figures, and I have a lot of them. So I'm going to create another international company that's going to move that as well. So I think I'll be busy for a while, and I've got to get through that 350 pounds of posters. I don't even know what's in there, and that's like a kid at Christmas opening Christmas presents and going, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see what it is. I can't wait to see, open it up, roll it out and go, whoa.
That's awesome.
Because I've had the chance to sell a couple of pieces, a few, and I'm just like, wow, I can sell these.
I have a question that probably should have been asked in the very beginning. Dave, what's your why?
I think for the time that we're on this earth, I want to make people that come into my life and my world and my family. I've got a lovely bride, Tina, Brianna, my daughter, Jake, my son. Just enjoy the time that you're here and touch somebody, that may be down or, having difficulty, but build them back up. I just think my why is to go out knowing that I help a lot of people. And I did get from Monique, she's your processor for people that are watching this, Monique Nolan. She gave me this plaque on Saturday, and it said, congratulations on your retirement. You have touched so many people in the world. Congratulations. And that kind of sums it up, in my opinion.
When I hear you say that, I think of so many conversations. And one of the things I've asked more than once is, how do you feel? How do you feel inside?
I feel really good. And people compliment. They said, we can see your enthusiasm, your drive, the sparkle in your eye, the smile on your face. I just feel really good. I'm very strong, and I'm ready to take it on and lead it to wherever it's going to go.
When you were a young boy, spinning those records.
Yeah.
And definitely entertaining the family. Was there a moment where you second-guessed all of it and just thought, I'm going to shrink into nobody?
Absolutely. It's life is difficult, okay? It is not easy, and there's always the outside influences that are trying to tear you down and, make you, I don't know if they get satisfaction out of it, but you've got to learn to break through that. It's been many, many years, but I've come to a point that I will not have anybody negative in my life. It's absolutely, I don't have time for it. And it's almost, thank you very much, let me show you the door. But I get that, those type of people out of my life.
The first time the first time you had to say thank you, but no thank you?
Mm-hmm.
What was that like? Take me there. Because you're very good at making sure only the positive is around.
Right. I'm a very frank individual, but I like to be nice about it, and I will just tell them why it doesn't work for me. And I'll look at them in the eye and tell them that, and then they know. And so we can part ways very, gracefully, not like, I'm gonna knock you in the face, none of that. But you just have to be honest, and you be honest with yourself, number one, and project that out there, and you're good. And there's people that try to manipulate, and they'll do that. My mother is very good at doing that, bless her heart. But I'll shut her down very quickly, and I'll go, why are you bringing that up? What good is that going to do?
That's exactly, I say that. For what purpose?
Yeah.
For what purpose do you bring that up?
Right. Stop.
However, she's truly the catalyst to your records and your collecting in general. Share.
Yeah. So when I started collecting all these records, working with the record industry, she was like, wow, Dave, I like what you're doing. So since she's older and had more money than me, she started buying a lot of these records. So our collaboration came to be, not only was it mine, but it was hers, and she had given me her entire collection.
Nice.
And that was probably 2,000 records.
That's amazing.
I mean, stuff that is like just crazy.
So let me sum up what it takes to start a business, have a successful career. Dedication, networking some more.
Yep.
Service leadership. What else?
I mean, that's great. I mean, you can go on and on, but there is one touch that I've done is everybody that has bought a record from me, I send them a personal handwritten note, and I'll say, "Hi, Amy. Thank you so much for your purchase. I greatly appreciate you." And I sign it. And I put enjoy D Powers. And that goes in every box that I ship out. And the reviews that I've gotten, I've sold 670 pieces thus far. And I have 5-star review.
Nice. Before I let you go, I want you to talk about your pride and joy, Miss Tina.
Yeah.
How long have you been married?
31 years.
Just amazing, your bond.
Oh, yes. And you know what's delightful about her is other people recognize that she is just a gem, and people like to be around her. She is a real estate agent, and she does a great job. She works well with buyers. So there's an opportunity there for you, Amy, and your team. And, take that to the next level. And they're going out right now because they're looking for the retirement people that are ready to go to maybe downsizing. They want to get out of that large home, downsize, get into a 55 plus community resort or whatever it is, and they can provide all that. So there's a whole thing going on there. And that was one of the other deciding factors, is she is so supportive that, I couldn't have done it without her.
The young couple that's sitting there saying, okay, we're going to do this, we're getting hitched. What are your words of wisdom?
No. Be very patient with each other and give each other that space. I have found that, let her do what she wants to do. She lets me, within reason, of course. And then you meet in the middle, and guess what? The relationship just becomes very bonded and strong. Don't have possession over everybody. Give that breathing space, that room, and that marriage will go a very, very long way. I'm in love with Tina today as I was when I asked her to marry me.
That's awesome. That's so awesome to hear. I love that. So, if I'm running in my business stride, I have to remember I have my core, my spouse,
Right.
And circle back.
That's right.
And that's the secret sauce to success in life.
It is, and take time out for each other. We can work hard to death. I was in planes. I remember Terry Galdo's husband, George, would come up to my house and he'd go, "Tina, are you really married?" Because I was never there. Well, I had 18 branches nationwide and I was flying all over the world and making sure that, you know, they were running and they needed what they needed to be successful as well. But always circle back to take time to enjoy that. And I know that you had a great vacation in Greece,
Yes.
and you went to Venice, and hallelujah. So yeah, those are really, really important. Make memories.
Following in your footsteps. Make memories, eat good food, drink wine.
Yes.
It'll all be great.
Perfect.
Thank you so very much. I am so grateful for our time together.
Well, thank you.
I'm grateful for our journey together because Lord knows I'm going to have you on the hotline. I'm going to call you every week.
And I told you, I have the bat phone on my desk. If you need to call, I'm there anytime.
Thank you. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much for listening. I appreciate you.